Hello and welcome everyone to this video where I'll be talking about my thoughts for the crypto market in 2020. My strategy, which I think if you're new to this you'll find very interesting, is the following. Okay, four key areas: um, Bitcoin, obviously, Ethereum, and then something I call Ethereum for swap out. Talk about that in a minute, and alts. So I've bucketed alts into one category, and there's a reason for that. So let's just dive into this. So I still feel that the two safest bets, if you're putting your own money into crypto in 2020, will be Bitcoin and Ethereum. There's absolutely no doubt about that for me. Um, there's just too much risk and uncertainty in the rest of the altcoin market. I mean, there's risk and uncertainty in Bitcoin and Ethereum itself. Um, where we are now, if I look at the current state at the end of 2019, we've dropped. We had a mid-year high to about, I think, 12,000, and we're now around that $7,200 range. And the current news of the day is saying, well, can we get to 8,000? Of course we can. It just depends on how long it's going to take. So the first thing that I'm going to say to you is this: I'm probably going to go against the grain here. I don't think you're going to see this boom all-time high in 2020. I just don't. And I've tried to apply a little bit of thought and science to that. And I want to show you this chart. It's not the clearest, so bear with me. I couldn't find a scaled out logarithmic chart. If you go to most of the free online tools or even the paid online tools, you can do a logarithmic view or a parabolic view. Some people call it that. When you go max, yeah, you're getting data from 2014, 2015. Now, what this is showing you, this is and there are some YouTubers who cover this in detail. Um, this is showing you the three parabolic cycles that we've had. And I drew the red lines because I took this and I was showing this to somebody on Twitter. And essentially, what we see here, it's actually quite clear. Um, and I'm not going to cover this in too much detail in this video, but basically these peaks are shorter. The rate of return that you get isn't as good. So the first one was the best one, 2011, 2012. Most of us weren't there. So forget about it. You're not going to see that again. Not only were the peaks higher, but it happened in a faster period. This happened in about a span of a year. Then it took about three, two and a half years, maybe 3 years. Then a bit longer. So the next one, I think it could happen. If it happens here, as you kind of see, that says 2022. If this is really flat all the way there, you're only going to see the peak in 2024. So that's good or bad news. Um, the good side of it is that you've got plenty of time to get funds into Bitcoin. The bad news is probably the sentiment. You could have this long period where a lot of people just become negative on it. Um, and that's why they say you have to have strong hands, not weak hands. The other thing is the gain will be flatter. So according to this logarithmic chart, it still could get to 100,000. That's a 10 times return, but you're not going to see what you saw here, which is fine. I'll talk about how we can potentially get better gains. There's a bit of risk in that, and that was the point number 3 that I showed you. So keep this in mind. According to this, and this is the most scientific thing we have out there in terms of Bitcoin's performance, there's no reason why the peak of the cycle will happen in 2020, which is here, this line here. There we go. That's the mid 2019 bump. Can you see this now? That's the mid 2019 bump. You could have a mid-cycle bump there, taking it past that 12,000, but you're not going to get the absolute peak in 2020. We're on Some people call it a 4-year journey. So stay strong and keep that in mind. Um, that's that first piece. So I think it's still fairly safe. I think there are altcoins. Some of you, after my initial statements, will be saying, well, you're not an altcoin guy. Absolutely, there could be altcoins then, after what I've just said, that significantly outperform Bitcoin in 2020. And if you just look at coin market cap 7 days, see Bitcoin Cash has done very well, Litecoin and EOS, and a few others. But that is absolutely possible, but with bigger risks. So Bitcoin is the safer bet in crypto, but you're not going to see the peaks in 2020. That's the first thing I'm saying. So your typical strategies would apply here: dollar cost average, come up with this with a bucket. Now the bucket that I typically feel is very good is 40 40 20. Okay, so 40%, if you're investing $100, this is not investment advice. I'm just saying if you're investing $100, 40% into Bitcoin, 40% or more into Ethereum. Ethereum has very strong fundamentals right now. So much going on. It's I've called it the most exciting project, technological project. We'll get to Ethereum in a second, and maybe 20 here, depending on what your fancy. Okay, so that's Bitcoin. Steady progress, but no high in 2020. Which brings me to Ethereum. Now, Ethereum's going great. We've had the upgrade. Ethereum will be driven if we see highs, number one, not just by being attached to Bitcoin. I think Ethereum's fundamentals are even stronger right now. DeFi is doing well. Um, we're seeing so much being built on it. We're seeing corporates come on board. Look at the Ernest Young announcement. Project Nightfall, I think it was called. Um, and the biggest uh, question mark against Ethereum, there were a few, but scalability was the one. And I brought this up in particular because it looks like even on current technology after Istanbul, which has happened, we're looking at a theoretical 3,000 transactions per second with sharding and things like that. I was um, talking on Twitter to one of the Ethereum devs. I put that screenshot up in a previous video, and he said, "Look, it depends on a whole bunch of things, but yeah, this is the theoretical max." Now, with more and more DeFi apps and corporate apps coming on board, and we'll see that grow in 2020, um, you're going to see Ethereum potentially outperform Bitcoin, which is fine. That's fine as well. If you're a Bitcoin guy, there's nothing wrong with that. Um, so Ethereum's a solid bet for its old fundamentals. I'm not going to make any price predictions, but if Ethereum's outperforming Bitcoin, then that comes to this opportunity that I've got here. Now, I said at the beginning, you're not going to get back to these early days of Bitcoin. We're at 7,000. Um, if you look here, uh, it may still be pretty much 7, 8,000. This is it, the next 6 months or the next 3 months, even your chance to get it at 7, 8,000, and then we never see that again. Slow and steady uptick, not to the all-time high, but we might go past 15. If that's 2011 there, we could go past 15 very very easily on a normal cycle. Okay, um, but you're not going to get it for $3,000, $4,000 probably, unless something happens here. So how do you potentially maximize your Bitcoin investment and maybe get Bitcoin at a low price? So I've made a series of videos on this. I even created my own equation, which I'll link to. I've got that in other videos, but basically there's this ratio, the Ethereum Bitcoin ratio. So Ethereum's fundamentals are so strong, and this ratio is sitting at 0.017. This is going to change. So if you look at the last couple of years, this is where we're sitting right now. And we've just had a major upgrade. We've got more dApps than ever, more corporates coming on board. DeFi is a big thing. Once again, I'm not making a prediction. I'm not telling you, that this is financial advice, but you can see this has been flat for so long. I actually called the bottom at about 0.16. I was tweeting about that, and it's went up to about 2.2. It's back down to about 1.17. I don't think, I think that is the bottom, that 0.16. I think from here, we normally see, by the way, after Christmas, Ethereum get a slight uptick. So it's the 27th of December as I record this, and I think you'll slowly start seeing that going up. Now, here's the thing. Let's say, for example, that it's at zero point 0.2. According to the equation that I shared in some of my previous videos, if you buy one Ethereum coin at 0.02, and then all it does is that it strengthens to zero point 0.4 there, and then you swap it out for Bitcoin. And if the Bitcoin price here was, let's say, 8,000, you effectively got the Bitcoin for $4,000. So think about that. But zero point 0.04 is actually not um, the highest it's ever been. It's gone really high. It went up to zero point 0.1, almost 0.11. Okay, on the chart here, 0.01. So one Ether coin equivalent to zero point 0.1 Bitcoin. I imagine you buy an Ether coin today, you're going to pay $127. And if that thing gets up to zero point 0.1 again, okay, I'm going to close these. That thing gets up to zero point 0.1. Effectively, you're getting zero point 0.1 Bitcoin for $127. And if you buy 10 of those, you've got one Bitcoin for $1,200. Okay, so I hope this is making sense. I call it my equation, THAVASH'S equation. I don't see anyone else talking about it. This was a realization that I had, and I'm not saying it's guaranteed to happen, but come on, even if we go halfway, it's a massive opportunity. So I'm saying Ethereum, back to the split that I showed you. I think Ethereum is good enough in its own right. So there's a portion of funds you want to put into Ethereum for Ethereum's sake, because there could be this flippening, and it could be that Ethereum takes over, becomes the number one platform, and don't think it'll happen, but maybe Bitcoin starts fading away if that happens. But there's a chance of that happening. We don't know. But we're covering all our bases here. But then there's a very good chance that Bitcoin will continue doing this. And you could buy now for 7,200, still a great price if it's on its way to 100,000. But man, would have been nice to have got some for 2 to 3,000 bucks. And I'm saying to you, I find a way. It's not guaranteed, but theoretically could happen. If you buy Ethereum here and the value relative to Bitcoin goes up to there or even there, it's a massive opportunity. Okay, so allocate a portion of funds where you're buying Ethereum, but you want to wait for that ratio to climb. Strategies as well. You can buy now at 0.2 or just under 0.2, sell some at 0.4, sell some at 0.6, or you want to hold on all the way to 1.1. Some of the Ethereum guys are confident that it will reach 0.16. And apparently, when that happens, the overall market cap of Ethereum will flip Bitcoin, which is a very, very strong signal. Okay. Then I've got here, so there's three buckets. So initially I said 40%, 40%, 20. You can break up this 40 into 50-50. Okay. You can adjust accordingly. If you really feel Ethereum, and I wouldn't blame you if you say that, because man, it's really exciting what's happening to Ethereum right now. You can increase accordingly. But then let's talk about alts, okay? Because surely I'm not making a video just about Bitcoin and Ethereum. So the truth is, I've become less bullish on alts in recent times. We'll exclude Tether because we know what that is. XRP. So to put it very succinctly, quite frankly, what we were promised just hasn't materialized on XRP. It's sitting at um, about 20 cents, US cents right now. Um, when we saw Bitcoin and Ethereum gain some momentum, XRP didn't really, the middle of the year 2019, get the same momentum some of the other coins did. I mean, look at Tron, look at Litecoin, and there's still a knock against it. I mean, look at that supply. Um, that's really big supply, right? Is it centralized? Can the XRP company, are they controlling it? Is it a coin where the banks are trying to just fight back against these two at the top? So the thing is, here's what I would say. We don't know for sure. This thing could still be everywhere. It could be successful because of the muscle behind it. But right now, a lot of people are down on it. I would say the following. If you've made an investment, so listen very carefully. If you've made an investment into XRP, you might want to say, right, I've put X into XRP, X amount of dollars. I want to lower my exposure. So what I do is, let's say I bought XRP for 80 cents. It's now 20 cents. And it gets back to 80 cents and it goes to maybe a dollar. I might say, okay, let's sell half of what I own because I'm in the black. I'm not losing out. And I'm going to put that money either into the two safer bets up here, okay? Or there's something else down here on this list that I find very exciting. So if you similarly bearish on XRP, that is what I would do. Okay, cut your losses. Obviously, some people bought at $2. Some poor souls bought at $4. You don't blame them. We all, got into the crypto hype, especially 2017, early 2018. There were some crazy buys. Everyone's made some buys that you're not quite proud of. But quite frankly, will we see $4 again? I don't know. I'm skeptical right now because it's sitting at 20 cents. I could be wrong. Okay. Bitcoin Cash is the other one where the hardcore Bitcoin fans will say, listen, this is not the real Bitcoin. I've kind of felt that way myself. I see it had a bit of a boost recently. The only thing I can say here, out of the two, I'll ignore the SV one. This could have some future as a payment platform. We'll see, but I wouldn't put new money into this. If you've bought already, yeah. Same with Litecoin. I just feel down about it, and you know what happened with Charlie Lee, and he was the founder and he sold a bunch of Litecoin. We don't see any development happening on Litecoin. Um, we don't hear a lot of positive news coming. I would say what I said for XRP on any of these coins. If you invested and you're feeling a little bit down, you're feeling a little bit worried, get to a mark. Litecoin's at 41. Let's say you bought at 60. Wait for it to get past 60 in 2020. That could happen in 2020 for all of these coins. Okay, I think we'll see some spikes. We saw one spike in the middle of 2019, and Bitcoin went up significantly, and one or two others. So I think that will happen in 2020. You'll see those spikes throughout the year. So you put your price targets there. I was saying, let's say you bought Litecoin for 60 bucks, gets back up there, you make a decision, right? Am I going to keep it? Am I going to sell all of it or maybe a piece of it just to lower the exposure and risk? The only other platforms then for me are the smart contract platforms. So you've got EOS, some people like Tezos. I wouldn't put new money into these. The two that stand out for me are Cardano and Neo. Okay, so let's talk about Cardano. So Charles, I think his name is Hoskinson. Okay, this is the guy here. He was actually an Ethereum founder, and what I like about the guy is that he doesn't knock all the other platforms. He actually came out a few days ago saying he's very bullish on Bitcoin. He thinks it'll definitely get to 100,000. So this is a similarly ambitious project in the vein of Ethereum, smart contract platform with interoperability, flexibility. They are nowhere near what they're claiming. Their vision is they haven't built really much at the moment. The thing is, though, Cardano is only at 3 cents. It's worth a punt. I mean, for $1, you're going to get what? 3 times 10, 30, 30 of these things for $1. $10, you know, more than 300. Now, if it gets to a valuation of where Ethereum is today, and we know Ethereum's got a lot of upside, but let's say they get a smart contract platform working, and you buy hundreds of these coins for very little upfront investment. Okay, there's your opportunity. There's your opportunity right there. And that's why I like this. Same with Neo. Neo's got the backing of the Chinese government. Um, if Cardano or Ethereum become really popular, the smart contract platform, and Ethereum looks like it's well on its way, you might find that the Chinese are not very happy about that. Um, so what they might do is really back Neo, and you see Chinese or Asian smart contracts and business functions being written, and $8 still could have some upside, but you need to do your research on this. And I'm not saying, I'm saying put a piece of your investment there, but not the bulk. Really don't like a lot of these altcoins. Monero has some um, opportunity to be successful due to the inherent privacy. Um, it's plodding along. It's, you can see there it hasn't had a great period, which might be a buy signal because it's low. It's $45. Um, and I'm not really big. Basic attention token is one that people are claiming is a pick. It has more of a use case, so that's maybe another one that you could add to that list. But you have to do your research, and I would set goals for each one of these just for the inherent risk. I'm getting in at this price. I'm probably going to sell a piece at that price Y, and that's the only way to do it. Okay. So I'll end up there. That's my strategy. Okay. I think 40, 40, 20. And in Ethereum, the biggest opportunity here is that Ethereum growth against Bitcoin, where you don't want to sell all your Ethereum. Ethereum has a big future. The Ethereum flippening could happen at 0.16, but right now at 0.017, what am I talking about? I'm talking about this. Ethereum is severely undervalued, and it presents a good opportunity either way on its own right or to get Bitcoin. I gave you an example earlier in the video where you could theoretically get Bitcoin for about $1,200 per Bitcoin today if you buy here. Okay, so I hope that helps. I hope that was interesting for you. Um, Drop some comments. Let me know what you think. I'll do a few of these videos every now and again, but mostly it will be broader topics that the other YouTubers aren't covering as I try to grow my channel. And of course, my channel is more around tech and blockchain, not just on price, but I think where I see opportunities and where I can share information like I've just done, I will do so. So I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks once again for watching. Subscribe if you like the content and share your comments and ideas, and enjoy your evening. I will see you soon.